In this video, we gotta talk about the Yoru buffs full revealed. This agent is now all of a sudden freaking cracked out of his mind. So we're gonna break it down and go over everything you need to know about Yoru, but go to the GameLeap website right now. Down below, we're gonna be doing a brand new updated Yoru guide as soon as he drops with the new changes. So do yourself a favor and go check it out right now down below. Now, 343 released State of the Agents Yoru Part 2 that not only tells us about all of his abilities, but shows them off as well. So, let's waste no more time and get right in. Now, the first change that we're actually going to start with is Fake Out. Quote, Fake Out is an ability that currently directionally mimics the sounds of Yoru's footsteps to mislead enemies, and it's now a full copy of Yoru instead, that runs forward and when damaged, explodes and debuffs enemies. As an added flavor, when the copy is shot, it faces the direction of the person that fired the shot and flashes towards their position in a conal direction. A change like this requires the most in terms of new art, so we explored how to visualize these changes early on. We expect to have some questions. How do I decoy without confusing the team? Given the fast-paced millisecond reaction speed of Valorant gameplay, we need to clarify the differentiate. As an ally of Yoru, you will be able to tell it's a copy and not the real Yoru. This is so that Yoru is not accidentally confusing with allies who's the real one and who the copy is. As an enemy of Yoru, you'll see an identical copy of Yoru. During playtests, we found that the copy was effective at disrupting an enemy's moment-to-moment gameplay, which is awesome, but not when your teammates are confused. As an instance, imagine if it looked just like Yoru and then you're like, hey, my Yoru's just running it down mid and he's feeding. It's like, oh, that's not actually Yoru. Well, it probably is a real Yoru as well. Because anyways, let's move on. So basically, when you're looking at Yoru from the ally's point of view, he looks completely different and easily identifiable. When you look at him from the enemy's point of view, besides the fact that he's just inting in, he doesn't look any different. Now, honestly, it's absolutely crazy, this Yoru fake out. When you shoot him, he looks at you and literally just flashes right at you. That can make it a huge liability to actually shoot the Yoru if you even hesitate for a millisecond. And I can imagine the mind games here because people don't want to shoot you. They literally want you to just walk past. So imagine if you pretend to be your copy and you walk forward against good players and they don't shoot you, and then you just turn and headshot them in the goddamn face. It can be incredibly funny that you can mess with people in that regard, and I think that the outplays with this is really, really nice. It hits that sweet spot where now there's actually a disincentive to shoot it. And when they first brought up this ability, I was a little bit worried because, yeah, it's a fake, but they're just gonna shoot it no matter what, but not so much the case here. However, I am wondering if people will do things like, you know, jiggle out, shoot it, and then jiggle back in no matter what, and that is a way that if it's a player, that player is dead, and if it's a fake out, it's dead. I mean, of course, there's counter strategies, but it definitely brings up a lot more depth and outplay ability or outplay potential with this character, and it got me all fucking hyped. And next up, we need to talk about Gate Crash. Quote, not much has changed with this one since the last post, aside from the team creating the additional art elements needed to bring this portion of Yoru's update to life. The big thing here is the puddle left on the ground after the fake teleport. While the goal of the fake teleport is to create confusion about Yoru's location, you should be able to go where the fake teleport occurred and then understand whether the real Yoru is around or was it a misdirection. Ah, you're playing detective, I see. But that's kind of interesting. It makes it so, you know, if you hear it or see it, you're going to be able to say, oh, that was just a fake. He's just baiting us, but you have to go over and walk over. You can still be tricked audially, so still interesting. The next up is Dimensional Drift. Quote, okay, prepare for a text dump. Here's a summary of the changes during Yoru's ult. Yoru is no longer revealed to enemies. Yoru is able to cast all utility while in Dimensional Drift. Enemies can hear Yoru's footsteps. Nearsighted is removed. Unequipped delay time is increased slightly. Cast delay added when casting Dimensional Drift, preventing the invulnerability frame on cast. So basically, this fundamentally changes how Yoru's ultimate is gonna play out because, well, yes, you can't just pop out with a goddamn shorty and shotgun someone, and well, yes, you can't run around with it out and then pop it in order to be invulnerable and then go into your ultimate, which was tactics that we had to use before to get value out of Yoru's ult. Now, it's completely different because not only are you not able to be seen or revealed, now you can cast all your abilities inside, including the decoy. So you could do stuff like decoy, flash, teleport, and just do some crazy stuff, and it can completely confuse the enemy, and it has a lot of potential. I will give it that. Now they had this to say, quote, when looking at updating Yoru's ultimate, we wanted to fix some of the unintended play patterns that have shown up in the game and instead give Yoru the tools to gain ground on enemies using stealth and initiate the rest of the team to follow. Reducing the amount of time he can stay invisible should also stop the invincible Yoru from simply dancing in his enemy's face. The new unequipped time is meant to hinder the combo of blasting Shorty right after switching to visible, and adding the delay stops Yoru from relying too much on running around with his max skin hand and jamming it on the first sign of danger. Instead, Yoru can now see the battlefield unhindered, allowing him to enter enemy zones, take the state of the map, and mastermind a play based on Yoru's change that allows abilities during his ult. Imagine a Yoru that can send teleporters into new places deep behind enemy lines, place flashes to move enemies off angles for his team, or possibly land the perfect blind to mask his D-stealth and claim a frag. We think this update unlocks a lot of new possibilities for a drifting Yoru, and we hope that it helps bring some of his fantasy of stealth infiltrations to life. And this is actually really cool to think about, because Yoru is like a tactician. When they put it like that, imagine this scenario. The enemy chamber ult, right? And he has a freaking op, right? So what you do is you go up, you push up the angle, you pop your ult as Yoru, you get behind enemy lines, you put your teleporter on top of his exit teleporter, then you go to where Yoru is standing, you flash him, pop out. The second you do, he teleports, then you teleport, and then you kill him. I don't know. That just sounds fucking cool to me. You're just gonna outplay the shit out of this guy. I don't know. It could be really, really cool. I think the potential there is just absolutely crazy. So the last thing that we need to talk about is, do these changes make Yoru all of a sudden insane? Is he still bad? Is he broken? What is it? Well, in some ways, this new Yoru is gonna be an absolute menace to play. I think he's gonna be one of those characters that if you are a thinker, not just a fragging duelist, you want to really think about how you're going to approach every single engagement, then Yoru is going to be that perfect duelist. You're going to be able to outplay, get tons of value, and be so goddamn annoying to an enemy team. And it can scale, because if you're going up against better enemies, you can actually play it a lot smarter and even trick good players, as opposed to how Yoru was before, where once they got to a certain skill set, they never ever fall for a lot of Yoru's bait, and then oftentimes if your enemy wasn't good enough, they wouldn't even recognize the bait that happened. But this is completely different. This is not only gonna completely screw over people that are not thinking enough, but you can also rise your playmaking ability and still roll people that are thinking too much. So there's a lot of capability with this character, and I think he could be one of those characters that has the ability to hard carry a game. And yeah, I think you Yoru mains got everything that you want, and I know a lot of you are gonna jump ship and become Yoru mains as well. But definitely let me know what you think about the new character changes. How do you feel about Yoru? How do you feel about his place in the meta? How do you feel about him in pro play? That's what I'm most interested in. But I really want to know your opinion about all that down below. And while you're there, don't forget to check out the GameLeap website. We'll have a new updated Yoru course before you know it, so go check it out right now down below as well.